God, no. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. I don't know where he went. Oh, God, he escaped. This is what I was not hoping for. This is why I put him in this. So he couldn't do, this. You want to know what calms Freddy down the most? When we talk about 5 Nights at Freddy's. So, why don't we just talk about 5 Nights at Freddy's? And hope he will be happy and not try to kill me whatsoever. Please. Wherever you are. Okay. Hi. Apparently, I'm about to die, and I gotta talk about a game to not die. Regular Tuesday. Don't worry about this. This is a perfectly normal cup. So, you may be asking, which 5 Nights at Freddy's game are you going to be talking about today? 5 Nights at Freddy's 1, 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, 5 Nights at Freddy's 3, 5 Nights at Freddy's 4, 5 Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, 5 Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, 5 Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night, 5 Nights at Freddy's World, 5 Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery. I already talked about Security Breach, so we can't talk about that. There's too many 5 Nights at Freddy's games. I'm not going to talk about the 5 Nights at Freddy's movie. Or am I going to talk about the books? There is a lot of 5 Nights at Freddy's stuff out there. But to make it better, why don't we talk about the brand new 5 Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2? Because Help Wanted 1 was so good. Don't worry that there's 2 mice here. I'm just going to put this away. Oh God, I clicked. I'm going to put this away. There we go. So, back in like 2018 or something like that, 5 Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted came out. It was the very first VR entry into the 5 Nights at Freddy's series. It's pretty much just what happens if you were the security guard. Not just like were the security guard, but you were the security guard. So you're gonna smack a ginormous You're gonna smack one of these onto your face and play a game for about 5 hours. So, Help Wanted 2 is pretty much Help Wanted 1, but less, like, it's not holding on to the original games as much, and it's more doing its own thing. So, there's about 40 plus mini games, oh my God, in the whole entire game, and I'm going to be talking about each and every single one of them. That's going to be real fun. So, why don't we begin? I don't have my little Freddy over there, so he's it's going to look empty for now. Keep on looking over there because I can see myself over there, and I can also see myself up there, but I should be looking right there, right at the camera, and not over there, because don't want to get distracted, and just be like, alrighty, so today we're gonna be doing some special stuff, but I can't help myself, I gotta look at myself. It's nothing weird. There's a black box on my screen. That's Steam. Just close that. So, first things first. There are 3 endings in the entire game. I'm only going to sadly be talking about one of the endings because I was only able to get one of the endings because one of them I just wasn't able to get, and the other one it's like really difficult. I'll talk about it, like how you can kind of get it, but I'm not going to talk about the ending itself because I have no idea what the ending itself is, because I wasn't able to get it. Great. So, why don't I figure out which one of these footages is the first footages? So, the lobby area is this ginormous pizzeria, just like the first game. But now, you're able to move around more. You're able to move all over the place in this game. You're able to move there. I might have footage of me doing that. I'm not fully sure. You have a computer screen in front of you. And on the computer screen is a whole bunch of files. And inside of those files are a whole bunch of .exes, I'm guessing, or something like that, aka minigames. It's just the minigames. It's a very interesting, menu system they have going on here. I kind of like it, because, it's like a computer, it has all the computery stuff, and, it's nice. So, the very first minigame that you will ever play, maybe not the very first minigame, the very first minigame that I played in my first playthrough of this entire game was Arts and Crafts. This is an interesting one. So, Arts and Crafts is Arts and Crafts with Moon and Sun. So, in the very first round of Arts and Crafts, yes, there are multiple rounds. There is a little screen right next to you, and you look at the screen, you see what it says on the screen, so it'll say, draw Freddy. And then you have to grab a little, pew-pew gun and shoot the image of Freddy. You have to shoot the little, I don't know what it's called, of Freddy. Once you once you've hit it, then you will get a piece of paper of Freddy, aka the thing that you need. Then, once you finally have the thing you'll need, you need to, again, look at the monitor screen to see which colors you need to do to fill in the painting. Each color has a number, and each number is connected to these paint cans. I don't know, I'm putting it over here. To these paint cans, and pretty much just number 1 is ears. Go over to the thing, grab it, number 1, put it on the ears. Do the rest for the other ones. See what numbers they are, grabs the colors, paints the things. But this game also likes to be a little sneaky with the coloring system and not have all the colors you'll need. So if you look on the screen and you say, oh, there's a purple, but you look at your little cups and you don't see purple at all, what do? It's obvious. You pretty much grab red and blue, and you dip a little bit of red, a little bit of blue, and then boom, you have purple. Once you have purple, then you put it onto the thing like normal. You also have a little water bucket to wash off your paintbrush if you grab the wrong color. I am going into detail about this. Oh my god, this is not going to happen for all of them. And then wave 2 is where you have to make a paper pal. Back in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there were these weird paper pal things that move around. So why don't we make one of them? So, yet again, look at the screen and see what it says to make. I don't have my remote, actually, now that I think about it. I gotta get my remote. Oh my god, my room is a mess. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there now. Making a paper pal. It's pretty simple. You look at what it says on the screen. So it says you need googly eyes, you need ears, and you will have to grab the little gun again and shoot the image of googly eyes or ears to receive googly eyes or ears. I gotta stop looking over there. I gotta start looking over there. Maybe I should shrink it. Maybe I should shrink it. I can't see it anymore. But you may not see the particular item you are looking for. So what do you do then? You pull the little rope. You pull the rope, everything moves, and you have new items. So you keep on pulling the rope until you find the item you need. It's pretty simple. And then once you've made your nice little paper pal, you give it to Sun, and he will shred it. And the third and final wave of this madness is a little bit harder. What a surprise. So it's pretty much, you look at the screen, you figure out what paper pal you have to make again, and then you also have to paint the paper pal. So you have to make the paper pal and paint the paper pal in a certain amount of time. That's fun. Be careful of those little light bulbs on the little panels, because if you hit one of those, the lights will go out, and if you hit them enough times, then you'll die. But as long as you're able to not hit the light bulbs and make the paper pal and paint the paper pal in the amount of time that is given to you, you are good. He starts jumping in joy. Game one. I had to re-say that. And at the very end of each mini game, you will have this little claw machine. You push the button, and a little capsule will pop out. You grab it, it opens up, and you'll see what's inside of the capsule. Might be anything. So that is daycare, not daycare. That is arts and craft. It's a pretty fun mini game, but why don't we move on to the next mini game? The next mini game in my list of mini games is Salon Staff Makeover. Why don't we put a makeup on a robot? This mini game is very simple. You have a robot in front of you. You have, again, a screen to the side of you, and the screen will tell you what type of makeup and what type of accessories you have to put onto the robot for them to be ready to go onto stage. So you have a whole makeup collection, colors, I don't know what it's called. I'm not a makeup artist, can't you tell? But you pick out the color of the makeup and you have to put it in the right location on their face for them to be happy. And then we also have the accessories. Pretty much just, this robot wants this glasses, this robot wants this hat, and stuff like that. So you have to go over to the accessories board and give it a spin and find the accessories you're looking for on one of the mannequin robots. It's a little weird. Once you've found the correct accessories and put on the correct makeup, you're able to hit done and send them out onto stage and let them have a grand old time as you have to sit in the back dark back room. Damn it, I really tried to work that one out, but I messed it up. So the next minigame in my section of minigames in the backstage folder, just now realized the folder has a name, is the Salon Glam Makeover, where it's pretty much you do the same thing you did with the robots, but this time you're doing it with Roxy. But because Roxy's very, very selfish, you need to be staring at her at all times. So you have to be staring at her while trying to figure out which color makeup you need and where you need it and what accessories you need and where they are. It's a lot harder, but it's very doable after 5 hours of working at it. That's fun. That will be it for the backstage folder for now. We will make our return though. We are going to be moving on to this folder. It's currently covered up, so I don't know what it's called. The Fazcade folder. It's pretty fun. Cade. First minigame in the Fazcade folder is Bonk a Bon. You bonk the bonds. Bond. James Bond. Uh-oh. In this minigame, you have a whole, let me try this one again. In this minigame, you have a whole, little table full of holes. I can't remember exactly what this type of game is called. Whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, that's what it's called. It's like whack-a-mole, but instead of moles, you have bonds. James Bond! So you have to whack a certain amount of bonds to get a certain amount of points to win a round. You have to watch out because every once in a while, a dumb little helpy will pop out and you don't want to hit him because that'll take away points, and you don't want that, not one bit. Pretty much just whack the Bon, don't whack the Fred, and get the points. Get the win. But in one of the waves, I think it's wave 3, a little plush baby will pop out. I hate plush babies, and I will never not hate them. Plush babies will pop out, and they take 3 hits to get them back into their little mole holes. So they're a little bit harder. So you just whack, 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 then they're gone instead of just one little. But still gotta make sure you don't a Freddy. And then after you get all the points, you'll win. So the next minigame in Fazcade is Phaser Blast. It's honestly a pretty fun game. You get a little laser pointer and you go pew, 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 at a whole bunch of stuff. Don't knock over my drink. Oh my god, that would be terrible. I do swing my arms around a lot though, so I should probably do that. There's a whole bunch of little targets that you have to hit. Each colored targets give you a different amount of points, and you want to make sure you have enough points at the end of the game to win, because if you don't, you die. So it's pretty much just hit the targets. Purple targets give you the most points, I think, and like gray targets give you the least amount of points. And of course, gray targets are all over the place and super easy to hit. As long as you get a nice good amount of points, you'll still win. So just have fun, really. It's really easy to beat this minigame. Most of these are actually really easy to beat, which I kind of like. After that Phaser Blast of a time you just had, you gotta go back to Phaser Blast and do it again, but with a little bit of a twist to it. You have a pew pew gun, but you also have a lefty that wants to join in the fun too. So you pretty much have like, you know, pew pew gun thing on your right hand or left hand, I don't really care. And in your other hand that's empty, you have a ball that you chuck. You chuck the ball. So there's special targets that can only be interacted with the little balls that you throw. And you know, it works the same exact way as the little laser pointers. Different colors give you different points. Purple is, I think, the highest point. You can hardly ever see purple, and it's really, really hard to hit purple, but it gives you a lot of points. Purple, purple, purple. Pretty much the same thing. Throw, hit the targets. Shoot, hit the targets. Get the points. Get the win. After that blast of a time you had blasting a whole bunch of targets and throwing stuff at targets, you are going to be moving on to DJ Music Time Beginner, because, you know, you gotta start somewhere. So, out of all the mini games, this is probably actually one of my most favorite mini games. It's really, really fun. It's pretty much where you wake the beast, aka DJ him, and he will give you a song. He will be like, alrighty, try this one, and go boom, 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 boom. And then you have to recreate the song with your little panel you have in front of you. The song that he plays will show a screen in front of you, and the screen will have the information that you'll need to recreate the song. On your panel you have is a whole bunch of little knobs, dials, switches, and stuff like that you're able to switch around and change the screen, like the background and stuff like that, the color, the images and stuff like that, and you pretty much just have to recreate the image that you saw when the music was playing. And you do that for 3 rounds. It's a very easy mini game, but I like it a lot, and you also have a time limit, but you don't really have to worry about the time limit too much. The next mini game is DJ MT. Yeah, I guess it is DJ MT. DJ Music Time Advanced. You gotta end it somewhere. It's pretty much the same thing. He plays song, you match song with the panel in front of you. The songs are a little bit more complicated. There's more like, you know, stuff they have to add on, but that's not the main change. The main change is where you have a Faz cam and you have to flash the little annoying DJ MMs that are like crawling through the vent and popping up at you. Flash a camera at them, you blind everyone, and they're gone. It's a little bit harder, but as long as you're able to just go and then you're still able to, fix up the screen and go and then fix up the screen again, it's still not a hard thing to do. Now that you have played some music and made some music, you are able to move on to the next mini game. Is Bonnie Bowl, the infamous game that never came out in Security Breach. It's finally out and we finally get to play it in VR. It's bowling. You grab the ball, you roll the ball, you try to get a strike. Every once in a while, a little like plush baby will fall onto the lane and you can just squish the plushie. And I think moon or sun comes out every once in a while. Grab your flashlight, go and burn his retinas out. And there's also some alligators that pop out and are like, hey, we're gonna try to mess you up here. I had a terrible time with bowling though. I got almost no strikes, I got no points at all, but I still won. You know why? Because I survived. And that will be it for now with the Fazcade file folder. Next up will be the food prep folder. First food prep thing you have in food prep folder is L Chips. Ready to be a fast food worker? This mini game is absolutely annoying and I hate it so much. It's a kind of a game mode that you see all over the place. Someone gives you an order, you have this much time to fulfill the order, and then you move on to the next person who will give you a different order. You have this much time to fulfill the order. It's very repetitive, it's very hard, it's very annoying, and I hate it a lot. So you have the morning rush, where it's pretty much a whole bunch of bots will come line up at your place, and you have to be a McDonald's worker and make the food that's on the screen. And then after the morning rush, you get the noon rush. And then after the noon rush, you get the afternoon rush. And then after the afternoon rush, you get the evening rush. And then after the evening rush, you're done. It's annoying. You have to make sodas, you have to make drinks, or you have to make sodas, you have to make food. The food, you have to put into the microwave and then push, set a special code that's on the packaging of the boxes. And if they want sauce, add sauce. If they want beans, add beans. It's super annoying. I hate it a lot. But I did it anyways because I need to get content out. You know what I mean? So after L Chips, wait, hold on. So after the L Chips minigame, you have the next minigame, which is Pizza, Pizza, Pizza! That's the actual name of it. This minigame is L Chips, but instead of making Mexican food, you're making pizzas. You make a pizza, you flatten out the dough, you add in the ingredients that the robots want, and you cook it. And if the bots want it rolled, you roll it. That's a very interesting thing to say, rolling a pizza. There is this machine right next to you where if you put in a flat pizza, if you put it into it, it will just pop out a rolled up pizza. And this mini game somehow got L Chips, but made it worse and way more annoying. It's just there's more steps to it, and it's just more complicated, and you have no time to do anything wrong. So you have to get everything right, perfectly to get to the day. It is very annoying. I hate it, but I had to go through it. That is it for now for food prep. We are going to be moving on to Ticket Booth. This is a pretty interesting folder. The first mini game in Ticket Booth is a carousel. You have to fix a carousel. This mini game is very interesting. you have this panel in front of you, you have a whole bunch of stuff to fix the panel, and you have to fix the panel. And the panel will also, fix the Keras wheel. And the Keras wheel will start spinning like a Keras wheel do. The problem is Moon. He's on the Keras wheel while it's spinning. You have to grab your little flashlight thing and shine him. You just have to flash him. Make sure he not gets you, because if he gets to you, you die again. Pretty much fix all 3 waves of the Keras wheel. Don't die, and you're good to go. What's the next mini game in Ticket Booth is Foxy's Log Ride. Remember that log ride that was being built in Security Breach and Ruin? Well, it's finished. Pretty much just a log ride. You're on a log, you're riding along, you have a gun. So you have a little, tennis ball gun, I guess. I'm not sure, fully sure what it's called, but you have a gun and you have to hit the targets while you are moving. Every once in a while you'll stop and there'll be a whole bunch of targets you have to hit. As long as you hit enough targets, you'll be fine. Hit the targets, don't die. I don't know how you can die, but hit the targets and just have a grand old time. And then once you're at the end, Foxy will be like, "Yargy margy, let's see how you did, bud, mate. Yarg." If you did good, then you'll pass. I think there's a point if you do really badly, then you'll die, but I'm not fully sure because I never did very badly. And that is it for Ticket Booth for now. Now we are going to be moving on to Staff Only. The first minigame in Staff Only is Cold Storage. Why don't we talk about it? In Cold Storage, Rockstar Freddy has made his way into the storage that is cold, and now he is, frozen, and you have to get the birthday cake for Jimmy out of his stomach. So you have to do a whole bunch of really dangerous stuff to Freddy and hope he doesn't go rogue and angry and kill you. And just pretty much make sure Freddy doesn't kill you, open up Freddy's stomach hatch, take out the cake. You realize Freddy has a weird alarms, a security system to make sure that there's a cake inside of him, and if there isn't, then he will go, rogue again and want to kill everything to get a cake. So you have to take little Jimmy's cake out and replace it with little Timmy's cake. And you'll be good to go. Jesus Christ. Next up in the staff only section, we have First Aid. First Aid is where Helpy has been trampled, Helpy has been killed, Helpy has been injured in a really interesting and weird way. And it is your job to make Helpy feel all better again. So you have a whole, arsenal of stuff all around you to help Freddy and, heal him from his interesting case that he's in right now. Scenario he's in right now. Not case, but close enough. I'm not going to talk about each and every single injury he can possibly have because there's a lot, but I will talk about some things. Thing number 1, every single time you give Helpy pain, he screams. What a surprise. The bad part isn't that there's a screaming child in the room, it's that there is an animatronic that doesn't like sound. Every single time you make Freddy scream in pain, a little animatronic will start crawling towards you in a vent because he's like, "Make that child stop!" So what you have to do is grab this mask and shove it onto him. And there's also a TV screen in the room showing you, how you're supposed to do the surgery because you are a very professional. Problem is, you didn't get premium, so you have to go through ads. Every once in a while, an ad will pop up, and you have to skip it. The problem with the ads is, you guessed it, they are loud. Which, makes the animatronic that doesn't like loud things try to kill you again because, you know, there's an ad. And you should have just paid for premium. Like, come on, it's not that much. It's only $6 a month. As soon as you're done with doing all of that and helping Freddy and making sure he stays alive, you're good to go. So next up, after a first aid in the staff only folder, you have to go on to the next one, which is Fizzy Faz Night 1. This is a mini game where you have to make Fizzy Faz drinks. You will get orders in the screen and you have to fulfill them by, you know, going over to your little dispensary and grabbing a cup and going, I want this, I need that, I need some of this and a little bit of this, and then you put it all in a cup and then you send it away. There's like 15 nights of this. It gets a little bit repetitive. There are like screens showing you like the animatronics that do each thing, and you have to make sure that each animatronic is doing what it's supposed to do. As long as you're able to keep the animatronics doing what they're supposed to do, and as long as you're able to fulfill the requests in time, you'll be good to go. So that was it for employees only, I think. Was that what it was called? That was it for that one folder for now. The next folder will be Sister Location. Ain't that fun? And the first minigame in Sister Location is Blora Gallery. You're in Blora's room. Okay, so this is a very interesting minigame. You know, in Sister Location where you have to quietly walk through Blora's gallery without Blora, you know, hearing you, it's pretty much the same thing. But this time you're in virtual reality. So you're like really low to the ground and you have to just like grab the floor and drag. You have to do this the entire way there. All the way to the door. But you have to make sure that Blora doesn't catch you. Don't make too much noise while doing this. Every once in a while, Blora will like move right in front of you, and you have to stop and wait until Blora gets out of the way. Then you continue, and then after a little while, there'll also be Minorinas that are coming after you. And in that case, you pick them up and you just throw them. You throw them in a direction. Blora goes after them, I think. So you just have to, you know, throw them and hope that Blora doesn't get you. And then you just do this again, and you repeat those two systems until you eventually get to the door. I am getting very tired by doing this, so I'm going to stop now. But we are now at the door and we are safe. And that's Blora's Gallery. It is really, really stinking hard. I have actually no idea why. After Blora's Gallery, Blora Gallery, the next mini game after that is Breaker Room. Remember in Sister Location where you have to go into Freddy's domain, aka the Breaker Room, and have to turn the power back on to, you know, the building. Well, you gotta do that, but this time it's in virtual reality. Oh my god. Yeah, you have a whole bunch of little levers in front of you. You flick the levers, they will light up, and the little meter will go. And then after a while flicking them all, then you will have to flick 2 of them to make a meter to go up. And you will also have a little loudspeaker that you have to be like, Freddy, no, everything's fine, Freddy. Stop trying to kill me, Freddy. Please, Freddy. No, normal Wednesday. After you do all that, then the power will be back on and Freddy won't want to try to kill you anymore. Pretty good, pretty fun, pretty great. Now, the next minigame after that minigame is Office Private Room. Alright, so remember in that part of the game of Sister Location where you had to go over to the scooping room, but you ignored what was her name was called, and you went into the private room instead? and then you had to spend survive the night in a private room and closing the door, making sure nobody gets ya. You're doing it again. Pretty much just copy and paste what that was. Ennard is coming after you. You have 2 doors on either side of you. You have a vent right in front of you. You have monitors. You have to make sure that Ennard won't kill you. The only problem is, well, not really problem, but the only interesting part is you can see Ennard coming like from a mile away. As long as you know generally what direction he's coming from. I don't even think you need to know that fully, but it helps. So as long as you know the direction he's coming from, you can just kind of sit there at the door and be like, come on, bud, any day now. And then once he does start attacking you, he takes his sweet old time trying to get to you. And then you can close the door. So you do that until it hits 6 a.m. and then you'll win. Pretty simple, pretty fun. That's all that I need to talk about this mini game. Yay, 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 yay. Congratulations, you have beaten the first half of the game. This is the normal part of the game. You know, you have beat every single mini game that is on the screen except for those weird locked ones. How do we unlock those? Let me talk about it. In one of the mini games, as a reward, you get the Faz wrench, and you grab the Faz wrench, and then you go over to the little Faz puzzle, and you stick it in there, and you have to, you know, get the little water. You do things to line up with the colors and the patterns and the lines and the pipes and all those things that I don't want to think about anymore. And then once you got the puzzle done, it opens up a door, and then would you look at that? It's a weird machine. You remember that from Help, what? Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach ruined? Oh my god, I had to really try hard with that one. You remember how you had to, you know, push it down to stop it? Well, you know, you push it down to stop it. And then once you've done that, you're able to take off the mask and you're able to see the real world, I think. Yeah, the real world, the world that you actually live in. This is a very broken down, very ruined, part of the game. It's pretty interesting though. These ruined mini games are interesting because some of them are, you know, pretty much just the restored mini games, but, you know, a little bit harder. And some of them are actually like completely brand new mini games. So, yeah. Why don't we talk about them? The very first mini game in Backstage, I told you I was going to make a return to this folder, so I did. The very first mini game, is Salon Roxy Repair. It is generally the same thing. You know, you have your makeup, you have your accessories, you have Roxy in front of you, you can't take your eyes off her, and you have to make sure that you get the makeup right and the accessories right. Every single time you look away from Roxy, it makes her real freaking pissed. And if her little meter goes way up, then she will kill you. But luckily there is a walkie-talkie that you have that you're able to calm Roxy down with the little walkie-talkie. Hey, bud. Paint Roxy's face, add in the accessories, use the walkie-talkie, stare at her the entire time, and you should be good to go. Now, William knows it. The next minigame is back to arts and crafts. Loft. This one is the exact same as the original arts and crafts. You have a bunch of panels in front of you. You have to shoot it to get the correct paint, like art, and you have to look at the screen, figure out what colors you need, and paint it. The main difference is there is Moon is wandering around and is trying to kill you, so you don't let that happen. Each stage is the exact same, you know, paint, make, paint. Not make paint, but make and then paint. But the only difference is it's like a little bit more chaotic and a little bit harder to do stuff. And there's Moon. He's gonna kill ya. He gonna get ya. That is it for Backstage. That is the end of that folder. We will never return. I'm not joking, but we will never return. Why don't we go back to Fazcade, because there was some things that we missed in that. The first mini game in Fazcade is Bonk a Bon bonus round. You get a bonus round of Bonk-a-Bon. James Bond. So this version is, exactly the same as the other version. I think you have some more, mole holes that they can pop out. And it's a little bit more, chaotic. But, bonk the Bon, don't bonk the Fred, bonk the, plush baby, and don't worry about the eyes. And then after a while, the machine will malfunction. Damn it! And it's up to you to fix it. So you pretty much have to go down and you have to look at a code. You have to figure out a whole bunch of little puzzle stuff, connect the cables to the right cables. And once you have all that plugged in and figured out, you can bonk the Bon some more. James, next mini game is DJ Music Time Pro. Because you have to because you have to get to places. You have to climb the ranks. You have to get big. You gotta get pro. This is pretty much just, the same exact thing as the advanced and beginners, but it's a little bit harder and a little bit more ruined. Anything else? I don't think so. I think it's literally just harder and more ruined. Flash a little music men, and you have more things on your panel, but except for that, it's pretty much the same exact thing. The next mini game in Fazercade is Fazer Blast FNAF 1. It's pretty much Fazer Blast, but FNAF 1-ized. So, I completely forgot that there was another mini game of Fazer Blast. I just missed it, I guess. And in that mini game, you had a laser pointer, a ball they throw at targets, and you also had a dart gun. It's a gun that throws darts, and you have to pop balloons with the dart gun. It's the same exact system as everything else, but balloon. Fazer Blast FNAF 1 is pretty much just, Fazer Blast, but inspired by FNAF 1, we can say. Everything is FNAF 1, kind of inspired or related. I don't know what I'm saying. And then after that is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. FNAF 2. It's the same thing, Fazer Blast, but FNAF 2-ized. That will be it for Fazercade for now. There is another little folder that is locked. I have no idea how to actually unlock it, so yeah, that is just gonna be locked forever. We will officially say goodbye to Fazercade and say hello to Food Prep once again. This time we only have one mini game, and that is Fazbear Theater. I hate it. Can I say more? It's just it's a very, very annoying game mechanic where it's just make what they want. Make the things. And this time you have to make smoothies where you combine food and drinks, and you have to make a smoothie. There's popcorn involved and stuff like that. It's getting more and more complicated and more annoying, and it's just not the funnest thing to play. And also, after a little bit, endos will start coming after you. Just use a flashlight on them. Not flashlight, camera on them. They'll go away. I'm just gonna skip that because I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. We're just gonna skip it because we don't have to worry about it ever again. Please, for the love of God, please be it. We are finally saying goodbye to food prep folder because we don't want to talk about that folder anymore. That was a terrible folder. We are going to go back to ticket booth. We have one extra mini game in ticket booth that we have to play, and this mini game is the Cinder Carousel. It'll make a little bit more sense when I talk about it. It's exactly the same, like, mechanic wise. Fix this Ferris wheel, that fix the carousel. My brain is breaking. It's getting late. It's 4 a.m. I started at 3 a.m. I've been going for an hour. Oh boy. The mechanic is generally the same. Fix a carousel. 3 little waves. I think it was 3. The only difference is it's on fire. Everything is ablaze. Everything, and you're probably going to die no matter what. And to make things even worse, you have the Jacko Moon, Jacko Sun, Jacko Eclipse. I don't know what the character is called, but it's like Sun, but the Halloween version of him, aka like a fiery version, which I guess kind of makes sense. So fix the carousel, and yeah, you'll be good to go. Alrighty, so we're going to be saying goodbye to Ticket Booth forever and ever, and we are going to be revisiting Staff Only once again. In Staff Only, we have, let me real quickly see what it's called, First Aid. This is the same exact thing. You have a child, he has been injured, you have to heal child, put mask on child whenever he streams, skip ads, and don't die. But it's just like there's more like children that have been hurt this time that you have to medicalize them, and it's harder, I guess, and that's it. Moving on. After First Aid, Scrap Baby, the next mini game is Endo Warehouse. It's a very simple idea, a little hard to beat gameplay wise. It's like a card memory matching game. You see cards, they get flipped over, and you have to, pick out the duplicates or the things that, or the cards that will, match up in this case. Because the cards aren't, the exact same, but they are like related in a way. So you have to, this with that, and not just this because it's also this. If you know what I mean. So you do that a whole bunch of times. There will be endos coming at you as well. And you have to use a flashlight, the little camera, whenever endos get ya. Next up after Endo Warehouse is Fizzy Faz again. The main difference is the animatronics, the staff bots, are a little bit more aggressive, and every once in a while this bot will come up and be like, hey, I know you're busy, but can you just real quickly do this order as well? Give you a little screen, and you have to do it. I don't know why, but You have to do it. You have to do it. And you pretty much do that for like five more nights at Freddy's. Yeah, get it? That's why it's called 5 nights. We are finally saying goodbye to staff only folder. We have completed all of the stuff in that folder. We are going to be moving on to the last and final folder, sister location again. The first minigame in that folder, the ruined version of that folder, I guess, is Breaker Room Hard Reset. We gotta give this thing a nice good old reset. Don't worry about the Steam little thing on screen. It'll stay on the screen. So this is pretty much just like the original Breaker Room, but a little bit harder, pretty much. Who would have guessed it? The next mini game in sister location is Office Puppet Master. So the main difference is, first of all, instead of Ennard coming after you, it's Blorina, Blorusas. I'm getting tired. It's 4 a.m. I gotta go. It's 4:31. I gotta go to bed. The main difference is Blorina. I can't say that name anymore. And the Minorinas and the Beady Babs are draining the power. So you pretty much just have to go through the camera system and find them. And when you do find them, shock them. Give them a nice good old shockerino. I need to get an old shockerino to wake myself up right now. After that, the next minigame is Office Funtime Gang. Funtime Gang minigame is very interesting because it's just like the whole entire like Funtime cast is going to get you and kill you. So we have Funtime Freddy with Bon, who will come out on this door, this vent, and you pretty much just have to, tell like where Bon's gonna be and close the door before Bon gets ya. Or else you get Bon, James Bon. And then we have Funtime Foxy, who is pretty much just Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, where you have to, keep an eye on him. And if you don't, then he will just zoom his way towards your door. My brain is actually slowing down right now. Like my energy went from like all the way up here from the very beginning of the episode, and it's just like climbing its way down. And it's like, go to bed time, sleepy. But no, I have to finish. And then there is Chica. Chica's pretty much just, she wants her cupcake. You have her cupcake. You're able to grab the cupcake and put it on either side of the door. And she will start to come after the cupcake, either side of the door that the cupcake is on. So the way to get rid of Chica is via just constantly swap the cake. As long as Chica does not make it to your door, you'll be fine. So just constantly keep that cupcake moving. As soon as Chica gets to this side, move it to this side. As soon as Chica gets to this side, move it to this side. I hope that makes sense. And that is it for the Funtime Gang minigame. So, it is now time for the final minigame of today's episode of the game overall. It is Office Job Interview. Let's go get interviewed, shall we not? We shallst. This is a very interesting game mode because there are three different mini games inside the mini game. So there's miniature games inside the mini game. There is the red light, green light mini game where the plush babies want to play red light, green light. You have to shine your flashlight on them to make them stop. And as soon as your flashlight stops shining on them, they will, come at you. The problem is you have baby plush babies on this side of you and this side of you, and you have to constantly be holding a flashlight. Guess what the technique there is? Just swing the flashlight around left and right as fast as possible, just making sure that they both get flashed as much as possible and to keep them away. This was tiring and I hated it, but it was the only way to do it that I could think of, really. Now that I broke my wrist, why don't I talk about the next thing? So the next miniature game in the minigame is hide and seek. You have to go throughout the security cameras, finding the plush babies and shocking them whenever you see them on the cameras. It's pretty simple. And the third and final miniature game in the minigame is flashlight tag. The baby babs will be like, you know, scattered around your office, and you have to grab your flashlight and flash them with the flashlight. I don't think the flashlight has battery anymore, so you shouldn't have to do the seizure part. So that's good to know. But that is all of the miniature games in the mini game. And as soon as you're able to survive all the miniature mini games, Circus Baby will come out and give you a ice cream cone. You know, that ice cream cone that killed that one child in that one game. But don't worry, you're not gonna die this time. This time. Now it's time for me to talk about the ending. Throughout the game, while you were playing the mini games, every once in a while you got a present. You opened up the present and you got a figure, like a action figure of the Five Nights at Freddy's gang. And at the very end of the game, you have finally collected all of the characters, all the action figures, and once you've collected all the action figures, you're able to make the mega action figure. You don't actually ever make and see the mega action figure, sadly, but what you do see is you do see the last figure, and then everything goes black for a second, and you see a recharge station in front of you. And then a weird hand comes out of the recharge station, and then a lot of ruined staff bots come out and start attacking you. And then everything will go black, and then once you wake up, you will be Mask Bot. You know, that bot that gave you Vanny's mask in Ruined. You will be POVing the Mask Bot. You'll be looking down on Cassidy. You'll be looking down on Cassidy being like, take a map. Take a map. And you give Cassidy the map. Roll credits. This was a very fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. There were a lot of very annoying parts of the game, but we're gonna give it a pass for that. I don't think it was as good as the first game, but I think the first game, most of the joy was just playing the first few games in VR for the very first time. I think that's why it was so popular. And this game just didn't really have that. You know, they weren't going to be, we're just redoing what Help Wanted 1 did. So, of course it's not going to do as good. But what they did do was still pretty good. I like all the ideas that they had, except for that goddamn cake baking one where you had to be a McDonald's worker. I hated it, I hated it, I hated it, I hated it, I hated it. I can't tell you how much I hated that part. But all the other parts were, pretty enjoyable. Maybe some of them weren't, as fun as others, but, And, yeah, there are a couple other endings that I weren't able to actually get, sadly. But I was at least able to get the main ending. So that's good. Okay, well, I think that's everything that I need to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. I was gonna make this video a long time ago, but there was a lot of other videos that had to come before it, so it got delayed to now. Now I have to make sure I know where Freddy is, because if I don't know where Freddy is, he might, kill me. We don't want that. But hopefully, because I talked about a Five Nights at Freddy's game, he won't kill me. Hopefully. But it is like 4 a.m., so I will fall asleep and go to Mimi's time. It's time to go to bed. Well, looky who we have right here. So, now that I've found you, I am going to have to capture you back in the box. I want to put you back in the box. But, of course, you won't go easily because that's who you are. So, I brought a little friend. Ha ha ha! I have fooled you now. Nothing that matters. Let's get back to the problem. That was super cheesy. Well, I tried. Oh my god, what is that? I'll break the box. I got you now. And who are you, my little friendo Palorino there? Actually, that can wait. I think you are a little bit more important right now. I gotta put you back into my room where it's nice and safe where you won't kill everyone. Alright, come on, let's go.